Hello and welcome to the DoubleClutch.ca podcast. I'm your founder and former host, Adi Desai. Nick thought it would be funny to have me lead in the podcast this week. For those who don't know, we are an online automotive magazine, Canadian, and we're usually here to talk about the latest and greatest in automobiles, new and, well, old, because a bunch of us have a bunch of old shit boxes. Nick, what are we talking about this week?
Well, this week in the garage we have the Honda Ridgeline. We also got arguably a real truck, the Silverado 2500 HD. We also got a couple of NPC mobiles, the VW Taos and the Ford Mustang Mach-E GT.
And for those who don't know what an NPC mobile is, it's a video game reference referring to games like, that involve vehicles and non-playable characters. So general AI vehicles that just kind of drive around and are forgettable.
Stuff you'd find in the background of GTA when you need to steal something for a mission.
It's not even the
or
vehicle.
Just about every car in
it's the non-player character. And like, if you're an anonymous whatever person, you need anonymous whatever car, here you go.
Yep. So effectively the Toyota Corolla.
Basically. And we're also joined in studio by Nathan and Imran this week. We've got a full house.
What's up?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, Addy, this week you have...
I'm driving a Honda Ridgeline this week, which Nick kindly set me up with because
I needed something to move.
Yeah, I needed something to move house. And
do your things fit in it? Is it enough of a truck to do truck things?
I can't answer that just yet because it's been pissing rain nonstop since I've had it, and the things I need to move involve dining tables, and I do not want to get a wood table wet.
You also threw out your back today, so good luck with that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But regardless, I have thoughts about this Ridgeline. I'm not exactly the truck client, and probably, that's fair because this is not really a truck. But anyway, in as it pertains to unibody pickup trucks, there's, I guess, the Ford Maverick is unibody.
There's the
Ridgeline, the Hyundai Santa Cruz, I think that's it. The Ranger's body on frame.
Ranger's
right?
body on frame.
Colorado's body on frame.
Colorado's body on frame. Taco's body on frame.
That just leaves those three. This is very, very dated. I think the only place the Ridgeline really stands out is that it's the only unibody truck that still offers a naturally aspirated V6, and Honda's J35 V6 with notable VTEC transition.
Oh, jeez.
Is really nice. But other than the buttery smooth powertrain and the remote starter at this time of year, that's about all there is. Like, the infotainment is atrociously bad.
I do love me a good Honda V6, and it is pretty hilarious when when you've stepped on it, and VTEC just kind of
it just kind of goes like the 90s, like it's infotainment.
It's sick.
That's exactly like when Adi told me to take it out for a spin, and he's like, it has the V6, and I'm like, it still has the J35.
It's still the J35 because it's still a great motor.
Yeah, and it actually is. It's like I was smiling when I was put to the floor.
But then you looked at the infotainment. And
I'm pretty sure that instrument cluster has been used since like 2008.
This instrument cluster was actually new in 16 on the Pilot, and I think Ridgeline came around in 16, 17.
It's so funny how it feels so much worse than that. Like a 90s Civic cluster doesn't feel as dated as this thing does because there is some tech in it, and that tech is ancient.
This is like a calculator display that gives you your triple digits for your speedometer. There's no analog speedometer in this thing, and there's a tach and the rest of your instruments.
Little screen in the middle that's
that's it.
And then they pulled down from their luxury make the worst thing that Acura does.
The stupid
push button
shifter thing. The one thing they pull from Acura.
I don't mind that so much, man. If you get used to it, I don't hate it. I don't hate that, but I guess that that's subjective. Like, do you just hate the Honda Acura setup, or do you hate the push button ones in general?
I'm not a fan of buttons in general. Okay. I think Acura's is among the worst.
Okay. I would say that the Lincolns that have the PRND from like left to right as like buttons across the bottom of the dashboard.
You kind of reach
the piano keys are kind of weird too.
They're literal piano keys. You're right. I don't like that.
I see what throws me with the Honda thing, like the PRND piano keys. I don't like that either, obviously, but the problem with the Honda thing is that the reverse is where you would expect drive to be. That kind of pull down to go. Like, it feels like a downward motion of a shifter, like you would normally expect.
Yeah.
And then you go backwards and hit stuff.
Yeah, I understand. That's a bit of an issue. I also take I don't like Mercedes column shifter because
That just feels like a minivan. It makes
Well,
your S-Class feel like a minivan real quick.
Yeah, but then my problem isn't even that. Like, I get it that they did it to clean up space in the center console. My problem is that if you drive literally anything else, like let's say you have this and your spouse has a different car, or the other way around, you're used to the wipers being in that place, and then you go to flick it up to just miss the wipers, and you're in neutral at 120 on the highway. And that has definitely happened to me.
See, I've gone the other way on that, where like anytime I drive a Mercedes, I'm infected with it for like 3 weeks. And any other car I get into, I go to like brush my hand down and put it into drive.
Seriously?
Any other car, it's like it's an infection. It's ridiculous.
I would not guess that would become second nature. Yeah, I'm not a fan
I
of
don't
Mercedes
understand how or why, because I don't like it, but I guess it's an intuitive place for it. It works.
Cleans up a lot of space.
Cleans up a lot of space.
Yeah, to
Like
be
it
fair,
is that Germanic sensibility. Like, why would you not do this? This is perfect.
It reminds me.
Your hands are already here.
Reminds me of having to drive around a purple '99 Dodge Caravan to high school.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
but it works.
Wait, you were
traumatizing.
cool enough to have a car in high school?
It wasn't mine.
Well, I'm
You think
aware.
I chose to have a Dodge Caravan?
No, I'm saying, but you were like mom and dad. Like you said, okay, here you go. Please take the car. Really?
Yeah.
Legit?
Yeah, even when my dad, quote unquote, made it and we got our first Lexus, like, I would take that to school.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was no.
My dad would never let me touch his legs.
Nick is still not allowed to drive his dad's car.
I'm barely allowed.
I
to
made
drive
Honestly,
it.
it's kind of amazing.
I made this joke with his father at his wedding that Nick is still not allowed to move the man's car, like helping the man park it at the church or whatever. He's like Nick was not allowed to.
No.
At least tell me, like, it's not like a Buick Enclave or something.
It's a base model Legacy.
Oh, it's a legacy.
Oh,
And he's not. You've seen Nick's Instagram handle, right?
yeah.
Why,
Nick's
though?
Instagram handle is Legacy, like Lega SEE, in case
Yeah.
anyone wants to stalk him in his extremely interesting life. But the point is, he has these issues at home from not being allowed to drive his father's car.
Yeah.
So he got so upset about it that he actually made a Instagram handle dedicated to his father's car.
Yeah, that's
One day.
exactly how it went. Yeah, no, definitely.
So the Ridgeline.
Yeah, the Ridgeline.
Okay, can I hop out of soapbox for a second?
No.
Can we all agree that this is probably going to be a reliable vehicle that we can trust to last for years?
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
It drives great. It is comfortable.
It does.
Yes.
It is quiet. It has
Yep.
excellent seats. It has a fantastic powertrain. It's reasonably good on gas.
Seats are not excellent, but that's subjective. Carry on.
Reasonably capable. The bed is useful-ish. The storage thing under the bed is great.
It's also arguably as much truck as most people need.
As much or more than most people will ever need.
Oh, totally.
Yep.
And we all hate it because of how atrocious the infotainment is. Like,
Yes.
like, what does that say about like where we are, where cars are in the industry as a whole? Where like a stupid old piece of dashboard software wrecks the entire experience
look, I
of
think-
an otherwise like a car that has the fundamentals down fucking nailed.
So I had this thought about this exact infotainment system in like 2014 when it was on the previous, like the old 2 generations ago Accord, and it was bad then. And then CarPlay came around, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? When that's added, so this is that system, but it has CarPlay in it. My problem is CarPlay, and it being wired is not even the problem, because that either whether it has wireless or wired CarPlay, it depends on the car, whatever,
Sure.
right? But when you have CarPlay plugged in, and I am a avid CarPlay user, it's still slow and laggy and cuts out sometimes, and it's irritating. So yeah,
Even-
you're right.
even
That
with
is
the
where
physical connection.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Wow.
there's just no power in it to drive it because it's so old. But that's right. That's what I keep trying to hammer home with like these disposable cars and their here and now tech. Is that like that tech ages out,
Yes.
and then it feels like shit, and it wrecks the entire rest of it.
Yep.
Bring
Yeah.
back the single DIN radios.
I mean, I think we're probably getting to a point within the next few years where the tech it'll become like phones, where it's
We're already there.
good enough. No, well, the Ridgeline suggests that we're not.
Sorry, I misunderstood where you were going with that. I see what you mean.
Yeah, you know, your phone could be 5 years old and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like now, I
My
think
phone
we're
is
gonna
5 years
get
old,
there.
and that's fine.
Yeah, I think we're getting there, especially with CarPlay and Android Auto. Like that'll become. It won't matter, but
It's
it's
an
also,
industry standard.
Yeah,
Yep.
but it's also like it's just
Unless you're GM.
when you're buying a new car, you want it to feel new. Like that's
Yeah,
part of it,
and that
Like,
doesn't, right?
And doesn't, no, and like the controls, the gauges, like everything feels.
Everything
old.
feels very, not even last gen, like couple gens ago.
Yeah.
And like, which would all be kind of forgivable. Like Nissan did this for a long time too, where like all their stuff was like 80 gens ago, but it was cheap. This is a $58,000 truck.
Well, the 4Runner and
What?
Tacoma are
Yeah.
kind of that.
Yeah, and they are kind of that, but they're
Like, there's
also
a new
like
Tacoma now, and there's inevitably a new 4Runner. But like
Yeah.
the current 4Runner that Imran had a couple months ago was, is about as old as we are.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was fossil, and like y'all panned it for being expensive and ancient too.
Yep.
And
Hold up. 58 grand.
yeah. 56, 58. It was knocking on 60. It was
This is the black
it was
edition.
over 60 out the door.
Is the black edition the top trim? Like
Yeah.
it's based off the touring
Yeah,
or whatever?
yeah. So it goes like EX, EXL. I forget what
whatever.
Yeah,
then
touring
black
and then
edition.
black
But it's
edition.
it's white, yeah.
Yes,
And the seats are red.
that is correct.
They're like two-tone, but it says
Yeah.
black edition. The seats
That
have
is
black
correct.
edition all over it.
Yeah, when did Black
Okay.
Edition become a thing and why? Like I know, like I think Mercedes
Nissan
started
does
it.
Nissan does midnight edition.
Yeah,
Hey, that was your first
Audi
press car,
does
wasn't
black
it?
optics.
it was. No, it wasn't a midnight edition. That was my third press car.
Oh yeah, the
Because you guys
fucking,
hated me.
Murano Midnight Edition.
You had a Murano press car in like the last 5 years?
Yeah,
It was my third press car.
Do they still make Muranos?
Yes,
They do?
And there's
Really?
exactly
Actually?
the same as
No.
exactly what you think they are.
And they have a buttery smooth V6.
Yep.
Yeah, but made it to a CVT.
Yeah, that's
Do
true.
you guys remember the convertible?
Yeah, the Murano Cross Cabriolet.
Those are actually unironically cool.
Yeah.
I actually
No.
had one of those as a press car in the U.S. in
Nice.
like many years ago. Many years ago. It was, it's exactly what I think it is.
Driving the California coast?
I also remember having a Range Rover Evoque convertible press
Oh,
car.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those were convertibles.
That was
too.
weird.
Yep. Yeah, it was in February. I drove top down.
As you do.
But anyway, sorry. Yeah, I don't know why Black Edition is a thing. It's like people like blacked out wheels and trim and stuff. And
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
it's
Earlier
sporty.
on, Nathan was
Sports.
getting very like angry about something. There's a vein popping right out the side
Oh,
of
and
his
probably
head.
just because I'm just sitting, leaning over the
I
mic.
see.
trying to
Okay,
hold
I thought
something
you were
in.
about to punch me or something.
No.
But no. My problem is when Black Edition first came out on the Pilot and probably the Ridgeline, it was like a black vehicle, blacked out wheels, mirrors and stuff. That this is white.
Yeah,
And I
now,
didn't
now it's
realize
just
the
an
Black
arbitrary
Editions are-
trim thing that
Yeah.
everyone's doing. Like I think Mercedes started with like the SLK 55 in like 07.
The
I
Black
think.
Series.
Black Series.
Yeah,
yes.
the Black Series, but those are worth stupid money. Wide
They were
body,
stupid money, and
Yeah,
they
those
weren't.
hand-built
Yeah,
engine.
and
Yeah, that was different.
They
They
also
weren't
get
black
you
either.
meaningful upgrades too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Black Edition now, like every company, even Rolls Royce has a Black Edition, and it's just
black badge.
some variety of black something or other.
Yep, you're
and
right.
and it's not actually anything.
You're right because you can get a black badge Rolls in a color that's not black as well, because it's Rolls Royce and you can like hand painted like any friggin' panel of your car, whatever color you
So
want.
what is black on this original? I saw the grill is black.
Probably
Yeah, so
the
like
wheels,
all-
wheels,
all
the
the
wheels are
wheels
black,
are
but they
black.
look like cheap steelies.
Yeah, I actually didn't even
Yeah.
notice. It's kind of dark outside.
The
right
seats
now. I
have
didn't notice
Black
it.
Edition embroidered into them.
But the
like
seats
dark
are red.
Yeah.
They're like black with like red inserts, like black leather with like red inserts.
so that people know you're badass.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Black is the
would,
most.
would you all drop 60 grand to be badass in this truckette?
No, definitely.
No.
Because you're not getting because you're getting to real truck
The
territory
same
at this
money,
point.
I'll just buy a regular Pilot
Yeah.
and then borrow a friend's truck the odd time I have a dining table to move.
The thing
Yeah.
is, like, the Ridgeline compared to, you're saying, like a real truck.
Yeah, and like you can get into like a
second.
full size real
Yeah.
truck ass truck
For someone
at
who's
that
not
price point.
For someone who's not, I guess, manly enough for a 2500 series truck.
Why does it gotta be a masculinity? Maybe you just need to fit it in places. Maybe you don't need like the Ridgeline does drive uniquely well. It is the best driving thing
exactly.
with the bed in the world.
So I will say,
Like-
I will say for someone who's just not a pickup guy,
Yeah.
like driving it around it was very comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, it was like
Yeah.
I could see why people would. Okay, I want a somewhat of a truck bed just in case.
yeah.
As a daily car, like it's
Yeah.
it's
No, they're
aside,
great.
outside of the infotainment, like it drives well.
They serve a niche. Like a lot of the people I know that have Ridgelines either work in catering or do a lot of gardening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know a lot of people with Ridgelines?
4.
Oh, really? Actually? No, because he's like, a lot of people I know with Ridgelines, they do this and that. I'm like, you know a lot of people
But
that
it's
I
a
know.
100% survey sample.
That's funny.
Nice.
Speaking of real trucks, Nathan, you got you have the Silverado 2500
Yes,
High Country.
I have the recently facelifted 24 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD. It's the High Country trim, which comes with everything in the kitchen sink,
Janzy boy.
and the Duramax diesel,
Ooh.
and the Allison transmission, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. I don't mean to. Trying to figure out how to say this diplomatically without shit talking. So a few weeks ago, I had an F-250
Right. Yeah.
Limited, so like a similarly loaded
Yep.
big ass truck. That was even bigger ass because it had an 8-foot bed. And like that thing had more power. had a much greater towing capacity, looked generally more chunky and manly and stuff. If that's what you're into, that's what you're looking for.
Truck for men.
Big truck for men, and like 1,200 foot-pounds. Like the thing is stupidly fast.
Yeah.
Like for something that big, it's like moronically quick. The Silverado does not do that. It's down 200 foot-pounds. It doesn't feel fast. It feels strong, but it doesn't feel fast, which isn't a bad thing. It's a tool. It's not a hot rod. Yeah. What it does have going for it is that it doesn't feel like a bus. The F-250 always felt like a bus with its solid front axle and like very trucky, rattly, framey things. The Silverado doesn't do that. It doesn't shudder nearly as much. It has independent front suspension, which some will take or leave depending on like, I need to throw my truck off a cliff. And it needs to be a solid front end. So maybe you can't do that with this, but it's still more than tough enough for anything. It can still tow like 18,000 pounds. And like when I first fired this thing up, I didn't know it was a diesel. I didn't know what I was getting into. I was given the keys, go to the big truck. Okay, I fired it up. I wasn't sure it was a diesel. Like this is how smooth and refined this powertrain is. I'm so impressed with it.
Yeah.
It drives great. It has the same cabin as the 1500,
Which is already a nice cabin.
which is a really nice cabin.
Yeah.
The thing's great. I'm in love with it. And
So
it's like, that's 116 grand, so it's 10 less than the
F-250?
Super Duty I had. Or that.
But you generally liked the F-250 as well.
I generally
right?
like the F-250. And then getting into the Silverado, it's like, okay, this maybe might not be like as extreme level capable.
Right.
And like it is 2 feet shorter. So that there is that element to consider.
So it's got the 6-foot bed?
I think 6 or 6.5. I can't remember, to
Yeah.
be honest. Whereas the F-250 had an 8-foot bed, like crazy long, heavy duty.
Actually usable.
It's like super usable bed. Yeah, this just drives like noticeably better in exchange for that extreme caliber of capability.
And you don't find that in pickups often.
No.
The fact that they actually ride well.
Like very well. This has like the Ram's like very nice serene-ish car. I don't want to say car, but like not industrial bus ride quality without having to resort to air suspension. It's an impressive truck. Engine's great. The transmission, the Allison transmission. I've never known what people were always talking about. Oh, I gotta get me a truck with an Allison transmission. They last forever. Holy fuck, it's magic. It's so
Really?
good. It is the ZF8 of truck transmissions.
It's like just seamless, you mean?
Totally seamless.
Oh, all right.
It's like imperceptible, smooth, reads your mind, knows when you need to kick down. It's perfect.
And you said it has how much torque?
975 foot-pounds.
Only.
Only 975 foot-pounds.
Yeah, the way he casually and you said the F-250 has 12.
So the F-250...
That's a deal breaker.
Well, so the F-250, there's the 6.7 Power Stroke and then the 6.7 Power Stroke high output.
Okay.
The regular one has 1050.
Okay.
So like kind of negligibly more. And then the high output new for this year has 1200, like class leading by a mile.
Well, I feel like we need to try towing things, or pulling things.
Let's pull stuff.
Yeah. Your house is being
guys
renovated.
wanna
Can we try it on that?
Oh, you just pull a house.
1,200
Let's move
pound
your
feet? I
house.
feel like it would.
I was thinking about this whole towing thing. Maybe we should just, when we tow things with these big ass heavy duty trucks, should we just compare it to my Touareg V10 TDI and see if it'll out tow that?
Works?
It's working perfect. I'm taking it home tonight.
Are you sure
Yes.
about that?
Pretty
You sure about that?
But in
fairly sure. I'm fairly confident.
I've
that it
had
will
this
make-
truck for 4 days. It has started every time. Can you say that?
Yes, actually, my Touareg has never not
Okay,
started.
it's always started, but like, come on.
I know what you asked, and I know what I answered. Your truck started, my Touareg started.
Okay.
also, in how many conversations, how much torque does that Touareg have?
550 foot-pounds.
Yeah.
In how many conversations would you have essentially half the amount compared to the next car, which is the F-250?
I'm just saying, do you not remember the commercial where the Touareg pulled a 747 plane?
Yeah, it's on wheels. I could push a 747.
Go push one right
I'll
now.
go do it right now. I'll be
Hey,
right
maybe
back.
Rush can...
We'll go to Pearson right after we're done and see if you can push a freaking jet.
Speaking of Volkswagens, Imran, tell us about what you're driving.
I gotta say this right because I say Taos, but apparently it's
It's
Taos.
like how you say Audi.
You also... Audi.
Wait, hang on.
Do I say Audi or
Is
Audi?
it wait?
No,
is
you
it
say
Taos?
Audi.
Maybe it's Taos. Is it Taos? I've never
Taos.
thought of
It's
this.
Taos.
Oh, we're sure of this?
I went on the launch. few years
Okay.
ago. It's Taos.
Is that-
I listened
that
to
sounds
you.
more German.
I listened to you people on this podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah, what do you mean you people?
I was driving, you three. I was driving into work that morning, and I heard Imran say blah 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 Audi, and then I'm like, I'm gonna.
I
and
would like to point out
He doesn't
that
even
I
sound
give
like
shit
that.
for
You
that.
did, and by the time I was like, I made a mental note to myself to abuse him as soon as I got to the office and could use my phone. That I would abuse him about it. By that time, you guys already berated him about it, so there's nothing more for me to do. But
not-
anyway, so Audi and Taos, got it. Carry on.
Still not changing.
Yeah, where does that name come from though? Like I like Volkswagens, but their naming convention is
Nobody
a
can
little
spell
drunk
Touareg
sometimes.
correctly. Nobody.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, it's pretty good. It's like comes in around the $40,000 mark.
Well, yours is pretty decked too. Like
Yeah, it is the high line. It looks pretty good. Even actually, my wife was commenting. She loves the way it looks. I was a little surprised. I thought it's a little run of the mill Volkswagen-ish, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, but run of the mill
it's-
Volkswagen is like clean,
attractive.
like
Yeah.
clean, handsome,
Yeah.
very
It'll
like
age well.
typical, like
Yeah.
kind of punches above its weight a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially like in higher trims with like nicer paint and wheels and stuff. Like they look kind of
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah. Those wheels are pretty funky too. I don't know if you guys saw them. Like they're that machined.
Yeah, they look
machine
nice.
look. They look pretty funky. Yeah.
It's a handsome little car.
Yeah, it is. And infotainment wise, speaking of the interior, so having just gotten out of an Atlas Cross Sport, which has their new infotainment, and then having owned the new GTI as well, I'm a little torn because this is a step behind, a generation behind.
But not a step behind.
Yeah, so I was
No.
like
Yeah.
correcting myself there
Yeah.
a little bit because it's kind of like, in some ways, I'm like, it feels a little old, but usability wise,
works.
it's
Yeah.
so much better.
Unlike the Ridgeline's infotainment, this VW's quote unquote older infotainment actually works well.
Works
Yeah.
really well. A, because it's not that old, and B, because
Yeah.
it's actually great. Like it's really well designed. It's super customizable. It's really easy to figure out.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic.
There's no learning curve to it.
Yeah.
Yep, the gauge cluster is, even that being a generation behind, is still fantastic.
Yeah.
And then
Is it a generation? But no, it's fully digital. No.
it is, but it's like, the graphics wise, it's
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I think the Taos is still like kind of like Mark 7.5 ish.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
yeah,
not
it's
quite
very
the
Mark
Mark
7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, overall, I like it. The fact that the HVAC controls are real HVAC controls is
Yep.
friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
I tested the Atlas because my GTI is. I got rid of it. One of the reasons was I hated those touch controls. Like, they were atrocious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, the Atlas is a little bit newer. Maybe it's a little bit better. It is not.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I was hoping they would have refined on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
Like pull what Honda did years ago and
It's-
realize we've made a mistake. Let's backpedal and put some physicality back into this thing.
Yeah, or illumination, but like we've gotten into that. Like, but like my test was, can you do the double tap for the heated seats to come on? Because if you double tap the climate control, the heated seats are supposed to come on. It was like 70% accurate.
I fully maintain once you master that learning curve with and you've set up your shortcuts properly, VW's new infotainment system isn't that bad. That being said, I still hate the touch-based climate controls and the volume slider because they don't fucking light up at night. So even though this Taos is one generation behind, I still prefer it. I still prefer the old system.
The Taos?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'd say so as well. Yeah, same thing. Like I think it's better.
Yeah, and like I don't mean this as a slight against the Golf, but I can see how this killed the Golf because it's like everyone needs an SUV, even though it's not really an SUV. It's just kind of a slightly taller car thing, but it's a lot roomier.
Yeah.
It looks great. It drives great. It handles well. It's quiet. It's easy on gas. It's got good feedback. Like this thing does everything right except the trans response. You're right. You commented on this. It is pretty
It's
dull.
jerky. It's
I see. I didn't get jerky. I found it refused to jerk. It was incredibly dull.
it was jerky when I was when I was
What's so funny?
Sorry,
Imran, why don't you enlighten
I'm
us?
not
What's
a
so funny
teenager.
about
I'm
me
not
saying
a
it
teenager.
refused to jerk?
But yeah, no,
it like a jerk for me.
Maybe Nick and I had a different experience with it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had better luck than I did.
no, I thought like there was a situation
I thought we were having a nice time. I don't know what went wrong.
on
It kept jerking.
who was jerking.
Anyway,
I had a situation
People are incorrigible.
on the highway on my way here. I went to switch lanes and I, put the pedal down and it just did not kick down for like a solid 2 seconds.
It's not the dual clutch, is it?
It's not the dual clutch.
No. And it was like, objectively dangerous. Like I was expecting some power and it was nothing.
It doesn't help that it has the 1.4, which is not overly powerful.
See, I have no complaints with that engine.
No,
like,
I don't
it doesn't
think that's it
sound
either.
tiny. It doesn't feel tiny. Like it's punchy. It sounds more refined than the Colorado Canyon I had last week. Like it's a relatively good little four banger that hides its small sewing machine-y appliance nature incredibly well. Just that trans really lets it down.
Yeah,
the
it
trans
does.
needs to be on the ball to kick it into higher revs so the thing will move, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Even in sport mode, it just refuses to.
And the thing is like when some of these transmissions, some of these cars we drive, like they're using older tech or whatever. And I want to kind of bring up and I think we talked about it last week or a couple weeks ago, but the CX-30 from Mazda.
Yeah, we talked about it off mic too.
And that has a 6-speed automatic, which is a little bit ancient as well. I don't remember having those same issues at all.
Yeah, because it's all down to calibration. Like this trans could be saved easily. It's not a hardware fault. It's just calibration. It's like it's looking for an input from the pedal and trying to give a response based on that, and it's just not set up great in this particular application. Because in other applications, it's fine.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up the CX-30 again because they basically top out at the same price point. They're basically at $40,000.
Yeah,
as tested, fully loaded.
And I would say, like, as good as the Taos is, and it is good, like, you're not making a bad decision if you're.
Says the guy wearing the
GTI
GTI hat right now.
R.I.P. And then
he's wearing it because it was free, not because he likes the car.
Right, that's right.
It came with the car, I swear.
But I should give this to you.
Yes.
Wait, did it come with a car?
No.
Oh.
No, this is
You paid money for it?
This is a AliExpress purchase, actually.
Very good, very good.
Really?
Yeah, that's
You
right.
spent money for that?
Yeah, I think probably like $3. It was AliExpress. Like,
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Anyway.
but yeah, so the Taos is good until you drive a CX-30. A CX-30, I feel like, is leagues better.
Yeah.
I think it feels more luxurious. I think it looks more premium. I think it drives significantly better, has way more power. I don't think the Taos is really better in any capacity. It probably has a little more interior volume.
I was going to say,
It's
being
probably
pragmatic,
roomier.
I think it's quite a bit roomier.
Yeah.
And has better visibility.
Yeah,
And
Mazda's always
Sure,
struggled
yeah.
with like
Yeah.
cargo space and
Yeah.
rear seat accommodations. The
Yeah.
CX-30 it's better than the Mazda 3. It's leagues ahead of the CX-3. That's now long gone, but it's still pretty tight back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is small, and that's one of the things I commented in actually my written review was that like it's barely a lifted Mazda 3 hatchback, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the most
In all the best and worst ways.
crossover in existence. It's effectively a car,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, as long as the space is not an issue, that's the one to go. If
Yeah.
you're like a empty nester or something like that, like get a CX-30.
Yeah.
And I do see a lot of empty nesters go for these subcompact crossovers.
Yeah.
They're the right
I've
size.
noticed this too because they're easy to get into and easy to see out of.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Visibility is pretty important. I mean, we were just talking about like Nick's parents. They're empty nesters.
Yeah, I
They're
mean, my
looking
dad's
for
loosely considering replacing their legacy, and I
With
can
a
see it.
Forester, a legacy wagon.
No, that's not happening. No, they want something nicer. So
doesn't-
CX-30 is
and
like
it's funny because we were talking about like Nick was saying that his mom would like something like a Q5 or something just to have something like nice.
like a CX,
Yeah.
like
So
Imran's right. Like a CX-30 is like a decent option.
Yeah.
Maybe not the maybe not the Taos because like they don't need the space.
They don't care
Yeah.
about the exterior volume. They just care like the odd time they need to lug their grandkids around.
Yeah.
Like
CX-30
the
is
CX-30 is just fine. Or maybe even like a CX-50, just because it looks a little
I
bit
thought
cooler.
about that today as a passenger on the highway. They still look pretty good.
They
They
look
look great.
They look way cooler.
They
than the CX-30
nailed that
to me.
design.
They do look super cool. I think
Yeah.
I have that next week.
Yeah, you do.
You
the
do, yeah.
GT
Yeah.
Turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that
Yeah.
would be great for like people like Nick's parents because
Yep.
the visibility out the back might be better than the CX-30. And in talking to like my parents and my in-laws about this, like visibility is becoming a challenge in a lot of these newer vehicles.
Yeah.
Just because everything is going to this
Everything has to be swoopy
styling.
with a really
exactly,
high
and you can't
belt
see
line.
out of
Yeah.
you can't see out of it.
And like
It's-
there's an implication here that old people need this. I am not old people as much as I joke that I am old people.
no, it's
and
true.
and
yeah.
like visibility visibility is so huge. It's what I love about old shitbox.
And
Visibility is so key.
This is why my wife liked her Volvo V90 so much, is
Yeah, you can
because
see out
of
of
the
it.
visibility and
Yeah.
anything she can get into now. It's like, well, she just likes having large windows, and as much as I don't like these, like something like a Forester or an Outback, just because they're so slab sided with huge windows.
Yeah. I appreciate that pragmatic greenhouse layout. Like, it just, it might not be like the sexiest, most like chic thing on the market, but like, you can fucking see out of it. And that's so huge.
No, I agree.
And there's a level of confidence you get driving.
Yeah, so
right?
much more.
Yeah.
And especially like for someone like my mom, like who was like kind of like a weird vertigo thing, like newer cars with like small little like gun slit windows and windshields and shit, like
Camaro.
they look.
But your mom is cooler than the norm because she has a new Bronco 2-door stick with steelies.
And the thing she raves about so much about it is the flat windshield that doesn't distort her view, right? We're sitting with like her little narrow gun slit windshield. It's like it looks like the world is attacking her, whereas like with a larger just frame of the world,
Yep.
It's an optical thing. You just everything is kind of visibly coming at you slower, and it's so much easier to process, and you're just way more comfortable in your vehicle.
That really stuck out with the Mazda 3 when I've had like various Mazda 3 press cars over the current gen. Rear visibility sucks in those things, but the 630 does improve that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't recall feeling that sort of either claustrophobia or
You're also used
not
to
being
newer
able to
cars.
see. Yeah, I guess so, but
It
I
was
feel
very
like
hard for me when I got into this line of work. That was very difficult for me.
Yeah, but you also own like really old cars.
Yeah, I'm used to fishbowls.
I'm aware. So it's like, but see, Imran is normal and has owned like normal,
right.
like modern-ish cars.
Yeah, but for someone who like I think there's a lot of people who know that they need the visibility of something like, say, a Volvo or a Subaru, like the typical, like more boring, pragmatic, like the stereotypical kind of vehicles like that. They can't articulate why. It's because they feel more comfortable because they can fucking see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I think there's a lot of people
And-
like that who don't know they're like that.
and many of us like we forgive it because of
Because it
like
looks sick.
blind spot monitoring
Yeah.
and things
Cameras,
like that.
360.
And
that's
we're
it.
also like drivers. We really like
Yeah.
we look where we need to go. We also are like we like impractical, stupid cars that we justify
Well, I
because like regardless of the visibility.
The other big thing we tend to forget is that like all these press cars are all decked. They all have rear cameras, and they pretty much all have 360 cameras.
Right.
Not all cars are like this, and I would be fucking helpless without them. Absolutely helpless.
Yeah.
The Taos actually doesn't have a 360. It actually doesn't have a 360
No.
camera. I thought that was surprising.
Yeah.
Is that common for the subcompact crossover class?
The
though?
CX-30 has
The
one.
CX-30
Does
does,
it?
yeah. The CX-30
I
had
think
360.
Ben also mentioned the Corolla Cross hybrid he had last week also had a 360-degree camera, but it's
It
kind
is
of
nice to like pull into the
kinda
garage and like get around like tight spots and stuff. My daily
it's
has
so
it.
nice.
It's nice. It is nice to see like when you pull in, it has a long nose. So just being able to get that front end really close to the end of the garage is nice.
Yeah.
For me, it's curbs.
I was going to say the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
thing. Like, it's just so much easier to
Yeah,
park.
because everything is so high and has such a high waistline, you can't see like what's
No,
below
you're
4
right.
feet of the car. Like,
Am I the only one here who can't park nose in for shit?
nose in,
Nose
Yeah.
in?
nose in,
Nose in.
Yeah, I
like
can't park.
driving into
Yeah.
a parking spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
better
can't
at
do that for
backing in.
shit.
I'm better at backing in, but the problem is the one side of my garage, you have to go nose in because it's
Yeah.
like the car on one side gets
Like-
backed in, so
Right,
both drivers'
yeah.
doors open into the center. My spot goes nose in.
I cannot do that unless I have like a 360-degree camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you should be a better driver.
Maybe I should be, but I reverse park fucking
Yeah,
everywhere I
yeah,
go.
so do
but
I.
like I can't nose in for shit.
You know what's weird? That like Canadians, and also more so because of the car enthusiasts we surround ourselves with, like to reverse in. But try going to like middle America anywhere, and you're the weirdo. Because everyone just goes nose
'cause
in.
Americans
All the parking spots in like the big ass Target super centers or whatever are angled anyway, and like the laneways go one way each. It's very strange.
Well, I think I mean if you end up in like a Loblaws parking lot here, you'll
Yeah,
see
most people
mostly
nose in.
as well. Like the reason
but
you'll
you're
see
but you're not a weirdo if you back in here. There's
No,
enough
no.
people that do. In the
Yeah.
States,
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
What are you doing taking so long getting into your damn spot?
Meanwhile, you're driving big ass high countries like Nathan.
Hell yeah, brother.
So moving on from this NPC mobile, the
NPC
Taos.
mobile number 1 to NPC mobile number 2.
I got chirped for calling this an NPC mobile.
Yeah,
Nick.
okay.
Sorry.
Wait, I have yet to drive this, but
Yep.
I'm very curious to hear your thoughts because I thought that it would be cool.
It feels weird calling a Mustang Mach-E an NPC mobile, and Nathan and I got into it last week. Whether or not
I mean, I was right for 20
it
minutes.
should be called a Mustang, but I don't know. It's just something with a Mach-E.
And this is a GT, right?
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
a GT?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
It just kind of didn't really live up to my expectations of like a performance EV.
Have you acknowledged it has the warmest heated seats ever?
Oh my God,
It
they're obnoxious.
Burns my
They're
butt.
so
it's,
good.
Yeah.
It's
I
actually
love
pretty
it.
sweet.
Oh, I have a backache. Can I take that home tonight?
No.
I would still, as soon as you said that, it reminded me of my F-56 Mini that I had because those would literally
my
scorch your
R50 would
ass.
also scorch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like you throw Pop-Tarts on these seats, come back 20 minutes
Yeah.
later, like they'll be burned.
Nobody listens to me. I've been saying
Your
I had
eggs will be fried.
the last time I had a Mach-E, I came back and I told the guys, I'm like, I remember nothing except how nice and warm the heated seats. I had one for like 3 weeks over Christmas a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It was spectacular, just because of how warm the heated
Right,
seats are.
yeah.
And you remote start this thing, and it's just the greatest thing ever.
Okay, outside of the heated seats that probably take off like 40 kilometers of range, apparently.
I lost 4 in my 2-kilometer test drive.
Yeah, range isn't great.
Isn't it like 434 or something like
Ford
that?
rates it at 400 plus in ideal conditions, but I picked it up on Monday with with just under 350. That's a pretty big
Was it full?
discrepancy. It was cold.
No, was it full?
Yes,
Like-
it was full. It was full.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even cold yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Buddy, big problem.
What also really surprised me was that it doesn't really do the whole on-off switch, shove you into the seat kind of a thing that other performance EVs do. It kind of like eases into it a little bit, but before really.
Oh, I disagree on that.
Sorry,
Obviously-
on off like the one pedal driving
he means
thing? Or are you
acceleration.
talking
He
about?
means
No, like-
sheer acceleration.
Oh, okay.
Like
Kick you back in your
Acceleration.
seat.
Yeah, yeah,
test
you don't
mode,
get
that's
that,
what
like-
he's talking about.
Oh.
I didn't really get that
I,
sense.
no, I disagree with you too. I think that thing,
Really?
that thing
Is it?
will go. Are
Really?
you sure you're in the fast mode?
I think the only
I bet
thing.
I'm unbridled.
Yeah, I think the only thing that thing is good at is being quick.
Like it is respectably quick, but like I was expecting the whole on-off switch kind of a thing.
Well, it's not a $200,000 Porsche Taycan. It slams on pretty good. And also, it's cold out. It's kind of like scrambling for grips. And like, because it's EV and because it is super direct drive, it's just like trying to modulate that power as it puts it down. And I found like if you try doing that in a corner, it feels really weird because it'll like try to have fun and then like, wow, wait a minute, no.
It likes to kick out the back end.
Really?
I that's not the impression I got. I thought
Really?
I got the impression I got was more of a like.
Really?
I thought it
How
was
do we have,
awkward
like-
and weird.
How do we have two completely different driving experiences with this same car?
I don't know because I come at things more differently.
But both of you were meh on it.
Okay, so here's my thing. It is very quick. Like that. This is the biggest problem I had with the Mach-E we had last week was that it was bland and whatever, and all the kind of issues we have with Mach-E's, and also slow. This fixes that.
Right.
It is not slow, but it's also kind of weirdly not fast. It's crazy quick off the line. It feels like super urgent, especially
Yeah.
in unbridled mode. But like above 120, it falls flat on its face. There is absolutely nowhere to go on the highway. Like my stupid old 40-year-old 200 horsepower shitbox would absolutely destroy it above 120. It's actually
I do
crazy.
that.
120.
120 kilometers an hour.
Holy.
Yeah.
And it just falls flat on its face. Like there's nobody home. It's I don't know if it's like a limiting thing, a restricting thing, or the way Ford's calibrated the battery so as to not deliver that much power for that long, or if it's just kind of short gearing.
So
I just it's weird where it's like, oh my god, it's so fast. Not fast. What the fuck?
Off the line.
Yeah.
I did like the interior though. I kind of like that textured fabric that runs along the dashboard.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, and Addie knows this. It reminds me of the sweaters that I usually wear. It's fully Nick sweater fabric, and I love it. It's like a TV static kind of thing. It's great. Interior is great.
It's well put together.
I don't mind the infotainment actually.
The infotainment's not bad. I
pretty
just don't like
responsive.
I just don't like how derivative it is of Tesla's.
Yeah,
That's my
the whole-
biggest thing.
The
with
whole
Big-ass
it.
portrait
tablet.
oriented.
Yeah, the big ass portrait tablet.
screen.
I actually don't mind the infotainment either. It's fine.
Like it works. It works very well.
Yeah, I took
Yeah.
one of these. We had another Mach-E last week. I took it downtown, and it was fine.
It's probably the best car Ford makes. Like in terms of build quality,
Yes.
drivability, like NVH. It's probably the best car Ford makes.
I they have this like video on YouTube about the whole like build process and and whatnot, and they seem like very passionate about this thing.
Well, yeah. What are they going to do? Like show fucking Tim Dick ass who doesn't care?
Fucking Tim.
No, but the fact that they made like
Friday afternoon, I got to slam this shit together so I can go home and get wasted. Like, no,
Dude,
he's not on camera.
who's buying this? I know no one because
I know.
they're not
I
selling.
see a lot.
I
of
see
these
a
on
lot
the
of
I
them,
see a good chunk of them.
But
Yeah.
the reason that there's so many on dealer lots right now is because they made too many, because when they couldn't build any, too many people ordered them, and then those people went and bought Teslas because Tesla was cranking out cars during the
Right.
shortage like
Yeah.
no tomorrow. So those people canceled their orders. Ford gave them their money back. Now they have a bajillion of them sitting on dealer lots that you can get as a steal. I actually would happily buy one of these. I really like the Mach-E. As an orbed, zero fucks given commuter, I really like EVs for that, and I would happily do a Mach-E. It's one of the like 2 or 3 that I would do.
How much is it worth?
I have no idea. Probably a billion thousand.
This is the problem with the GT.
Oh yeah, the GT is like $90,000.
Yeah,
isn't
it's-
it?
No,
I don't want that one.
Our single motor was 86. I'm sorry, I looked it up. 82. I was mistaken. It was 82 last
okay, but a base one is in like the 60s. I have that.
Yeah, but a base one doesn't have range or nice things. You like nice things and range.
I don't need range.
So wait, GT.
Okay,
I
but
live
you like
10 minutes from the office.
but you like nice things, and the base one doesn't have nice things.
I don't need nice things in my EV commuter. As long as I have heated seats and steering wheel and CarPlay, I'm happy.
I don't think those are standard. CarPlay for sure, but heated seats and
Bro,
steering
heated
wheel.
seats have to be
No,
standard.
heated seats in Canada are definitely
Absolutely standard, man. I can't think of a single car that does not come with heated seats.
Okay, but would you
and
actually
standard.
take one of these over something like, say, a comparable Hyundai product?
Yeah, what
A
about the
retro-style
Ioniq 5?
Hyundai product that is not derivative of a Mustang?
I would be hard pressed to make that decision. I actually I like the Ioniq 5.
Yeah.
I like the Ioniq 5 and I like the Mach-E. Those would be my 2 choices in the
Yeah.
current EV offerings.
Yeah, this one is just over 95 as tested.
Really?
Yes.
And how much is
It's
that?
like 9 more than the single motor we had last week.
$95,000, so you're over 100 Gs. Now you're also having to
As
pay Lux
tested.
tax. Ooh.
As tested.
How much is an Ioniq 5?
Well, like 65, like fully
the,
loaded?
like a specced out one?
Probably.
Are you serious?
Admittedly, probably
No.
a
Like
little
we're talking
less
like
performance.
I don't know.
Yeah, like the
I'm
thing is,
still-
the Mach-E GT is one of the faster EVs you can buy.
Yeah, but so is the
In
but
its
the
own weird
Ioniq
way.
5 isn't
so
slow.
is the Genesis GV60 Performance, and that's like 82 fully loaded.
Yeah, and then there's also like this Ioniq N that's coming. That's going to be like 670 odd horsepower for probably in and around the same range as this Mach-E. I shouldn't speculate.
That's
I
a,
don't
that's
know, but
that then becomes a tough sell.
that that's yeah. This is the problem. I don't know. Mach-E's not a bad vehicle. I think it's
Yeah.
the best car Ford makes. It is really well put together. I just wish they didn't call it a Mustang.
Yeah, we talked about this
don't-
last
no,
week.
we're not
You
going
guys
down
weren't
this road
here
again.
for this.
Let's not get into this again. I don't know. I have a bit of a vendetta against it. It drives pretty good.
It's a
except-
marketing move. It was a great marketing
It
move.
was a great
made
marketing
sense.
move, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. They should have used Galaxy Thunderbird. I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's move on.
Yeah. 100%. So
Moving on.
speaking of nice, quiet, comfy cars, so
way back playback.
So a lot of us recently spent some time in a W140 Generation S class, which Nathan played with extensively last week.
I took it for a weekend too.
Yeah.
Absolute.
for those who
I
may not
stole
be
it for an
familiar,
evening.
let's set the stage a little bit. So I briefly touched on this last
Yeah.
week. So the W140 is Mercedes chassis code. They manufactured this car from
92.
92?
Late production year.
yeah,
91
92, yeah, late 91 to
through
99.
Yeah.
And this had a reputation of being like the biggest, most ostentatious, most decadent, most technologically laden, most ridiculous car Mercedes had ever made, and arguably is still up there in that upper echelons of like the most ridiculous car Mercedes has ever put together. And we've had a really nice last year S500 floating around the shop, and I drove it last week.
I drove it for a weekend.
Yeah.
Stole it one evening for dinner.
Yeah, when we talked about it last week, it was only me that had driven it, and now you've all played with it. Thoughts?
Oh, it's
What do you
okay.
think of this old car with 200,000 kilometers on it?
It is like it is so gangster. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it in words.
I felt
But-
like a villain driving it.
You're just a mob boss.
So I have a long history of being in love with older S classes.
shit.
One of the first big boy toys I bought myself was an 88 560 SEL,
Okay.
which was the previous generation before this one. I bought it then because it's the one I found. That's a 126 body, which is 82 to 91. I always wanted a late 140, which is what this is, in black. This one has the ballistics package. It's super,
9mm
super
thick windows.
freaking cool.
Oh, I didn't know this.
So this is a black. It has monoblock wheels on it. It is exactly. It's long wheelbase, like all V8 gas cars were. It is everything that I would want my perfect 140 to be. It's just not the right time for me, but I would absolutely purchase this into my own collection and keep it for the rest of my fucking life because I love it so much. I drove it for a weekend, highway driving, city driving. It's so buttery smooth. I think the beauty of the later 140 is that it drives modern enough. Like you can whip that wheel with your finger and it lock to lock. And it still has all of the character of an old car. Like it has that stately styling, that big 3-pointed star on the hood, that door close sound that everyone kind of resonates with old Mercedes. 2 car phones. There's one built into the dash, one in the console. And from they actually sell kits because obviously that network is long gone. They actually sell kits to retrofit Bluetooth into that handset.
No way.
It's a wired handset. It's a corded handset, and
awesome.
it's actually not a distracted driving fine because it's built into the car. You can legally still drive down the street and hold that wired car phone and say, hello, this is Nathan answering, this is me in my old chip box. Yes, excellent. Like you can do that legally, and I think it's the most wicked car. I love this car.
First of all, it's a night and day difference compared to your old W126.
Yep.
Second of all, I'm floored that you're not trying harder to justify keeping this piece of shit.
No. I think we have another topic later today as to why I won't. But no, not the time for me. But it's a sensational car. I'm glad to have played with it. I'm glad to have spent time with it. I'm hoping to spend some more time with it. But beautiful car. It's just like
Nick, you don't even like big luxury cars like this.
I don't.
So what's your takeaway?
What floored me about it was the fact that it feels like much more solid, much more worthy of the 3-pointed star than a lot of Mercedes' current products. It wafts, it sounds phenomenal, it goes, and it looks gangster.
Amazing.
It looks like nothing else.
It has so much presence. Like this is what I mean when a car is imposing, has presence, just rolls up and has its own magnetic field. This is that car.
Yeah, totally. And it's not even like it's the exterior, it's the interior. Like before you even fire it up.
I don't even like Luxo barges.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, it's old, yes, obviously, but it's like everything about it, the wood, the folded leather on the
Seats
doors,
are so
like
comfy.
just everything is just so
And there's also
gangster.
something about money, okay? Like now I feel like this generation where people are around us, like you drive down the street in Mississauga or Oakville or Toronto and you could see 3 Lambos on any given day, even if you're in the middle, like Huracans, Aventadors, you see like Ferrari 488s, Californias, you see these cars around. 911s are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, everyone's got a G-Wagon.
Everyone's got a G-Wagon, and they're $300,000, but everyone has one, right?
Yeah.
So these cars are from an era, like when we grew up, we're within 5 years of each other, all of us. And when we were growing up, you saw one of these going down the street, an S-Class, even if it was the ugly beige, you see them going down the street and you're like, that guy has
That's
made
money.
it. That guy has made it. And then like a new S-Class doesn't do that, right? Like it does it in a different way because you can finance the shit out of a new one. Like the terms of like the definition of having money was different then and what this car represented then versus now. Granted, we were children then, but like people like all of our fathers or all of our mothers would see that like Nathan's mom used to work for Mercedes, and he's told us this years ago there was some sort of history there that she would lose her shit seeing this car.
Right.
Like my dad was new in the country when these cars were new, so these or like an R129 SL 500, like those were the cars that like the executives drove in those days. They lose their shit. Like it's
Meanwhile,
a thing.
today,
it's a lasting symbol of success.
Meanwhile, today, when you see something like a modern day or a current gen S-Class or a G-Wagon, you just think, oh, it's some fucking influencer or something.
Or a real estate agent, because everyone's a real estate agent
Yeah.
with a written off S-Class or an E-Class or a GLE, right?
You don't Yeah, you don't look twice.
Yeah.
Like you really don't.
You do not reconsider. You don't look at a car anymore and say, "I wonder what that person does," because it
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
just anything and everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. There's no explanations anymore because this is what I mean. Like it's kind of weird to say and it's kind of awkward to say, but the definition of money doesn't correlate to cars anymore in a way that it did, and it kind of explains how we look at this car and how that takes us back to 25 years ago.
Yeah, it's kind of like like I guess you could say sort of like if you see a Rolls Royce driving down the street today, you do look at it and you wonder what the person does.
Yeah, if it's an '04 Phantom that a guy picked up for 140K, you know exactly what
Let's say a new one, and then that's kind of what the S-Class was, right?
Yeah.
It was like money wasn't as saturated, I guess, and the car market wasn't as saturated.
Meaningless. Wasn't as meaningless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So when
What
you,
is 300 grand?
Yeah, and that's
Right?
the thing. Except for us here at this table,
Yeah.
but for seemingly the rest of the world,
Yeah.
300 grand is nothing.
Yeah, well, it's a write-off, bro. Just write it off.
Yeah.
Actually, the guy asked me yesterday, I heard you can get G-Wagons and write them off as business expensive on your taxes.
Actually,
do you know?
we had this
over, like,
conversation with
5,000
somebody.
pounds.
Do you know? Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know anything about how that would work?
Yeah.
Like, no, you still need 300 grand. Like,
Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
oh, it's okay. I'll just finance it, bro. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to make a comment and say one of the best cars, if not the best car I've driven this year for under $100,000 is that 99 S500.
And it's well under $100,000, and that's the thing. It drives like a car that's still well over $100,000.
Like 25K now buys a perfect one.
Yeah, and it still
nuts.
looks expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You look at like a 2005 745i and you're like, ugh, it doesn't look expensive anymore. You look at like a '06 LS430, which was
They're
designed,
nice cars.
but like I had an LS430 and they were designed after the W140 Benz. Right? Like, and the LS430 no longer looks expensive. They look like kind of nice, but like the 430 kind of looks like old car now.
Yeah.
This thing still has that presence.
Yeah,
and
it still looks like $1 million. That guy looks like he'd get out of it, buy your dad's business, and fire
Yes.
him just to spite you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like whoever's driving that car can afford a newer car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like,
But he chooses.
But I like this one
this is a
because
choice.
fuck you.
And those wheels, man.
Oh,
I
it's
will never
magnificent.
get over those wheels.
Yeah.
Like Mercedes needs to re-release those.
Yeah.
They have. Like monoblocks
No.
are now not
Yeah,
these
No,
kind
it's
of
actually a
monoblocks.
thing.
Monoblocks are a
You
thing
You
again,
can
bro.
go buy a
the
brand new
same
G-Wagon right
style?
now with like chunky ass five
Or
spokes on
S
it.
classes
Yeah.
or
S-Class.
AMG GT.
They're not the same. They're a little more curvaceous, but they're
Yeah.
like reminiscent.
I just want I love those wheels.
Yo, maybe we
Yeah.
can find a set of modern monoblocks as a winter setup for my dad's S580. Can we do this?
Yes, we can.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do some research after
Right
this
now.
podcast.
Yes.
Right now.
And Nick, how are we doing for time?
We still got some time. Addie, do you have any news to share?
I have some news.
So speaking of buying our dream cars, get to play with our dream cars.
Yeah, this is like a drum roll moment.
It's a bit of a drum roll moment. It's a little bit surreal, but I have purchased my ultimate dream car, my white whale, my Eleanor, my like previously unattainable, just
Chrysler Intrepid.
well,
Basically,
it was
Intrepid.
alright. There is some Chrysler connections. No, you idiot. The Aston Martin Vantage is an Intrepid. You stupid man. I have purchased a 1991 Lamborghini Diablo. And it has been the talk around our office for a couple months now. It's been we're in the works since the end of August. The car finally landed a couple weeks ago, and we've all kind of lost our minds
Yes.
that this is finally here. It's here, and
Were you not just talking shit about seeing 3 Lambos a day like 8
Yeah,
months
but this
ago?
is-
But I
This is-
specifically said,
yes,
I saw you
but-
two make eye contact during that, but when I said
Yes.
that, I was referring to modern Lambos
Yes.
that are leases, finances,
That's exactly it.
etc.
Okay,
There's-
I was just spelling this out for the audience.
There's
Thank you.
there's Lambos and there's Lambros, and the newer gen
Yes.
are the Lambros. This is a Lambo, and I just have to say, like, first of all, it's in red. I don't know what the actual color is called and what the color code is or
know,
whatever.
Diablo red?
I believe the color was red.
But yeah,
It is red on
It wa-
tan leather,
It was a simpler time.
Yeah.
But
red on tan, fixed buckets, the big spoiler on the back, like the
Like-
car of our childhood.
like
Yes.
seeing that thing in person, and yeah, some photos are being shared in the group and stuff
Yep.
at a time. But like seeing that thing, actually elicited a physical response.
Yeah, there's like
I'm not even kidding. It sounds like I'm embellishing, but like there were literal goosebumps.
No, we
and
all had that.
butterflies.
Yeah. Like,
you're just like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
this thing is real.
Yeah, speaking of imposing a magnetic field, like this car is a
Yeah.
black hole. It is a gravitational well.
Yeah,
like
you just want to like pull up a chair and just
Stare at it.
Pull
Yeah.
a beer and
yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations.
yes, sir. Okay, let's do that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. It has been a pretty surreal few weeks leading up to this. This car is a bit of a story. It was originally owned for the first just about 20 years by a man by the name of Mario Andretti.
Some guy, you know,
Slightly better
somewhat famous.
driver.
Slightly better driver than I am.
Pretty good behind the wheel,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty good behind the wheel. It's Mario Andretti's Diablo. It came with a whole bunch of documentation, the original title in his name, a bunch of like signed documents. There's a signature under the dash. It's pretty cool. It needs
Pretty cool.
It's unreal.
It is definitely super neat.
Yo,
It
guys,
is-
this is neat. Really? Let's look at this. Look at the owner's manual. There's Andretti's name signed on the first service stamp. That's
So
neat.
here's the thing: the car's gonna get sorted over the winter. It needs a few things, as any 30-year-old Lambo would.
Naturally.
I drive my toys, and you know, I for how short my commute is, I put a surprising amount of mileage on all my toys. The thing is, all of those toys are fairly drivable and forgiving and
Yep.
kind of like easy to
You
get
like,
in and
you
out
like
of.
nicer cars.
You
You like
do.
nicer cars that are easier to
Can you
live with.
fit in this thing?
Yes,
Can you drive this thing?
yes. I did drive it for about 2.5 kilometers to get it from the storage where the transporter dropped it off to our office, and now it's in pieces. But regardless, on its way here, I drove it here.
And you
and your
broke your
left
ankle.
calf
and-
is-
Our friend Cameron was behind me and in it, and he's like, "You remember the Wolf of Wall Street?" And you know the scene when he's on Quaaludes and driving this Countach, and it just looks like a absolute maniac not being able to control his motions. Apparently, I looked kind of like that because I was extremely jerky. So here's the thing: this car has, and you guys have all put your foot on the clutch on this car,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's blaming you for this, by
Right.
the
So
way.
I-
we all like talking shit, but no one's blaming this car. Like, and by no fault of your own, it's just like ergonomically a disaster. Like
Yeah, they are,
even
yeah.
brand new in perfect condition, they just were a mess out of the gate.
Yeah, so no power steering,
Yeah.
the heaviest clutch you've ever felt. The pedal placement's a little complicated, so I can't actually drive it with. I need to have my right shoe off to drive it.
Why don't you elaborate on what a little complicated means?
So my foot or any normal foot is too wide. So if you have your foot on the gas, you also have your foot on the brake, which creates a little bit of a problem when you're
Little bit.
driving. So I
Yeah.
take my right shoe off, and then you're fine, right? My left shoe, however, needs to stay on because my left foot to operate the clutch needs the extra meat of the shoe to be able to push down this extraordinarily heavy clutch. Also, it doesn't have any power steering, so
and it's not a small car with like little skinny mini wheels. Like
they're 335 17s in the back. They're
and like
wide.
275 something in the front. Like that's a
Yep.
lot of tire to turn
Yep.
without hydraulic assistance.
It's fine in motion, but there's that. The shifter, when loaded, is pretty heavy. So yeah, like it just
We were talking about visibility earlier.
there's none.
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 Yeah.
The dashboard, it's called like a waterfall dash or something, but like the instrument cluster, which is adjustable, but it only makes it less visible out the front than it is now. Like even in the most, you can't see anything out the back, but it's okay because like you don't need to see out the back. You're going forward, right?
I remember we were looking this up and like, oh yeah, the cluster lowers with the wheel. It's going to be okay, or something like
No,
that.
separately, yeah.
Yeah, we
It's not
can
neat.
adjust the
Yeah,
cluster
yeah.
down so we can get more visibility. It's already maxed down.
It's already maxed out. Gun slits like to
Yeah.
see out of in the front. It's fine though. Can't be that
Like
bad.
even through the windshield, like through the front,
You can't see.
a
You
damn
can't see.
thing.
And nothing out the back. And then you see a little bit of like vapor and like it's almost like that distorted through the little like half-inch you can see out over the. But when you look at the back, you can see that huge spoiler behind you. It looks sick.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wicked.
that's sick.
But that being said, all of that aside, it took me 3 or 4 minutes to get acquainted with it. And I only drove it a couple kilometers before I've parked it for the season. So it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve in the spring. However, once I kind of got used to it and I was able to open it up, beyond 2 to 2.5K, the V12 just comes in. It's like, and it screams like nothing else. It's like, oh yeah, that's why I bought this car. This is amazing.
I am so looking forward to hearing that.
You haven't heard it yet?
No.
Oh.
I was getting the 140 when this car showed up.
That's right. Okay, yeah. No, you didn't hear it.
I've never heard that car run.
No. Oh, yeah. So yeah, it sounds incredible. When you start it at idle, there's nothing there. Like it sounds like just any car at idle. There's nothing to it. But yeah, I have all the original service records. It's gonna have a full engine out major over the winter. Needs a head gasket, but that's okay. It's we're gonna get it done.
Needs a bit of
We
work.
knew this coming into it.
Yeah, we knew all of it coming
yeah.
into it. Everything
Bit of a
coming in.
project.
It's not a huge deal. Everything that we're gonna do, it's gonna be sorted, and I kind of want to keep it for the rest of my life.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 30-year-old Lamborghini. I mean, what?
Yeah.
You got to expect this
Yeah.
stuff. Right?
But you know
And
what?
possibly the most iconic Lamborghini, though, and possibly the most
our
iconic
generation.
Lamborghini
hands down.
owned
No, but I
by.
think people would argue with you
Like
and say
Countach?
like Countach, Miura.
Yeah, I
but
guess. But definitely of our generation. For sure.
I think the Miura is prettier. The Countach is rad, but the Diablo is like a rolling
and
monument.
I feel like it straddled generations a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
And that's why I think it is the one.
But I don't think there's a more iconic like car of our childhood than the Diablo. Like everyone had the 1/18 scale Maisto model of that, right? Like also, if anyone still has one in red and would like to give it to me, I would like it. Do you actually have one in red?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I have one in
have one in
black.
red.
I want one in red. It would be sick. But yeah, no. So we now have that, and it's going to be a very long winter until I can pull it out and drive it. But I am very excited. I have gotten the personalized plate NFS HP because Need for Speed Hot Pursuit was my game growing up. Nick will argue that the same car in NFS SE was more a thing.
Yeah,
but
because that was literally, well, not literally your car, but
It was.
it wasn't an SV.
Wasn't it?
No, I know, but it was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit that just turned me on to Diablos to begin with, right? Like you had the
That's
Pursuit,
fair.
the cop version,
yeah.
and you're driving through like the European tracks that they've created of these like landscapes, and like you're driving like I think it was like the Amalfi Coast you're driving on, and you're driving in a police black and white Diablo with the sirens on,
But
chasing
no
down 993.
no pop-ups though.
No pop-ups on that one.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
remember
later
that.
one SV, no
Yeah.
pop-up headlights.
Yeah.
I wanted the one with pop-up headlights. Like I wanted an early car. Also, it's the only one I could afford because anything that's not an early car is double.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like what I
money.
really wanted was the purple SE30, that pinkish purplish color. But yeah, anyway, so I've done that, and I'm a utter fool. But it's gonna be wicked.
Yeah, but it's a
and-
pretty rad fool, though.
That is,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we're gonna take it to Oblivion Car Show next year.
Yeah.
We took a bunch of our cars this year, so we're gonna take it next year, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll actually. I'm actually really excited.
I'm
for
so
next
looking
season.
forward to like just seeing how this like adventure with this car shakes out, because it is an adventure. It is a rolling adventure of a car.
Yeah, it's gonna be an event.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, I need a 90s shitbox or an 80s or 90s shitbox.
Okay.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one?
Yeah.
You're the only one. Yeah.
You like
Basically.
modern stuff because you like Audis.
No, man, I was just talking about
You're a
old stuff.
fancy boy.
So let's find you something. That's the
right.
goal for the winter.
All right.
Are we bringing back the Let's Find Imran a car?
Yeah, seriously.
Let's bring back-
Except coincidentally enough, my wife is calling as I'm talking about this. I feel like
She felt a
I feel
disturbance
like,
in the
yeah,
force.
I feel like she heard.
She knows already.
I
She's like,
see
"Fuck
his phone.
no."
His wife is calling him right now.
Imran, can I perhaps interest you in a Mazda CX-50 GT Turbo? That's much more
I
more
actually
of a
found a
sensible
Millennia
purchase.
that he should buy. The Miller
That
Cycle
one look-
Supercharged.
I mean, beige on beige, no, but yes.
Yeah, I actually think we should find Imran an LS400 or something. It would be
No.
cool.
No, I need something. I was
Sporty?
telling VTEC. I miss VTEC.
Okay, we'll find you an old Honda.
Yeah.
Just get an NSX.
Just get one. Just
Just get it.
Yeah, just get one.
because he's got 100 G's under his couch.
We're not the
right?
G-Wagon people. We talked about this, right?
Just do it.
It's just money.
Finance a G-Wagon, write it off on your taxes, sell it, and then get an NSX.
It's free money.
That's right.
Yeah.
You do know I had one, right?
A G-Wagon?
No,
No,
NSX.
NSX.
I know that. That was the
Okay,
joke.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the joke.
So, what do we got in the garage next week?
You have the schedule open.
I do. Imran, you have something nice and sensible. You got the Mazda CX-50 GT Turbo next week.
Yeah, I'm actually
which should be a
excited
good
about it.
follow-up for the CX-30.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good.
Nathan, you are in the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid Max.
I'm actually looking forward to that more than you would expect.
And you know what? I'm actually looking forward to the Accord Hybrid that I also have next week.
Good car.
So this is like actually where that we're actually looking forward to our. I mean, they're all NPC mobiles, but we're actually looking forward to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
That's weird. That like never happens.
I mean, the Grand Highlander is kind of a big deal.
It is,
and they look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the car that you're going to get stopped in parking lots being like, how did you get that?
Like actually that.
That
That's
happened
what I'm saying.
when we
How'd
had
you
the
get an
RAV
allocation?
when we had the RAV4 Prime, the first year was
believe
out.
it.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were like approaching us saying, "How'd you get this car?"
That's right.
Weird stuff. Okay, everyone, thank you for tuning in. It has been a Slice Talking Cars with you. Once again, Addie, congratulations on your Diablo.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Nick.
Congratulations.
That is an incredible accomplishment.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that.
And for those who wish to keep tabs on our adventures, you can follow along at doubleclutch.ca on socials. We will definitely be updating you guys over the winter with how our Diablo project shakes out. Pray for us, because
Pray for my wallet.
It's gonna be millions.
Well, thanks for having me, and I hope to join you guys again soon.
thanks for tuning in.
Thanks all.
Thanks, guys.